And from this beginning, and the sacrifices of life and time, we have our temples today. Right? And when we think about the times that they had to go through, it was very difficult times. They had to go through the initial immigration process. They had to go through the Depression. They had to go through 2 world wars. They had to go through relocation and the return and rebuilding aspect. And because of that, we have our temples today. Right? Because of that, we have our temples today. So it should be a very important service, especially for BCA members. But being a uniquely BCA service doesn't mean that we need to have it in the tradition, make it a special service in the traditional way. We still need to work this out, right? We still need to go through the process of working this out. But as important as the bishops were, as important as the early ministers were, as important as all the members in the past were, that's not why we have our organizations, right? That's not why. Their efforts made it possible. But, great people don't make history. History makes great people. And what it was that enabled all these people to come together and do what they did, and gave their lives for what they were doing, was the teachings, right? It was the teachings. It was the Nembutsu teachings. And that is that very teaching that Shinran Shonin pointed out as the way for all people, not just some, not just people who agree with him, but everybody that would listen to that teaching. It was open to them. He did this almost 800 years ago. The teaching that the way to religious liberation was there for anyone who wanted, by simply listening to and hearing the call of the Nembutsu, to awaken to the compassion that's constantly reaching out to us and embracing us, and enables us to have the lives that we do today. That teaching did not only enable our BCA to be here for almost 110 years, but it also touched the lives of people throughout the world for almost 800 years. To hear that call and awaken to the compassion leads to a life of gratitude for being able to have the lives that we do have, for all the efforts that have gone on in history, not just our temple history or BCA history or even Honganji history, but all throughout history that came together to enable us to have the lives that we do today. To hear that call, is the life of the Nembutsu, a life where appreciation of the teachings and of the compassion working on our lives enables us to deeply look into ourselves. And the deeper the introspection becomes, the more deeply we really see ourselves. Not just the parts that we want to see or we want to show people, but the parts that are really deep down within ourselves. The greater our appreciation becomes for all that enables us to be, to enable us to have the lives that we do. And this is the working of the Nembutsu teaching. This is the teaching that enabled the early bishops to do what they did. This is what enabled Bishops Matsukage and Shigefuji to give their lives to their task of running and heading the BCA. And this is what enables us to have our temples today. So on this occasion of this Bishop's Memorial Service and BCA Founding Day, it's not just an event, but it needs to be an ongoing process that goes on deeply within ourselves to carry on that teaching and make it a part of who we are and share it with all that come into our lives. To do this is to carry on the spirit of the former bishops and all the pioneers that enabled us to have our temples today. So in closing, I'd like to once again share with you this first chapter of the Tanisho, where Shinran is quoted as saying, that the vow, the teachings of the Nembutsu are for all people. We should know that Amida's original vow does not discriminate whether one is young or old, good or evil, and that faith alone is of supreme importance. For it is the vow that seeks to save the sentient beings burdened with grave sins and fiery passions. Therefore, if we have faith in the original vow, no other good is needed, because there is no good surpassing the Nembutsu. Nor should evil be feared, because there is no evil capable of obstructing Amida's original vow. Thus it was said, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandam, 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 Namandam. Thank you very much.